Welcome to my channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Outer continental shelf length X claims. The outer continental shelf length X ensures fair and adequate compensation for injuries sustained while working on the outer continental shelves. Under the X, crew members who work on oil drilling, rigs, or natural gas exploration platforms and other people working on the outer continental shelf may receive compensation for the past and future medical costs, physical pains, physical limitations, and loss of earning capacity. It also extends the protection afforded to employees under the Longshore and Harbor Workers Compensation Act (LHWCA) to employees involved in the exploring, developing, and extracting natural resources on the Outer Continental Shelf or OGS. Oil rig and harbor workers, longshoremen, and people working in ship repair, shipbuildings, and shipbreaking are generally covered under the Act. Though it does not protect employees working as crew members on a vessel. Vessel crew are generally covered under the Jones Act. And then history of the Outer Continental Shelf Length Act. By the 1980s, the United States economy was growing in the wake of World War II. As the economy booms, so did demand for new cars, housing, and other material goods. As a result, oil and gas become hot commodities, and offshore exploration and natural resource extraction grew as industry. New rules and regulations were enacted as the industry grew. Congress in 1953 passed the Outer Continental Shelf Length Act, with formalized federal jurisdictions over the Outer Continental Shelf and created compensation protection for employees stationed on oil rigs, drilling platforms, artificial structure, and other devices built in the OCS. Next, about how the Outer Continental Shelf Length Act helped Texas employees. The Outer Continental Shelf Length Act may allow compensation for people working in the oil and natural gas exploration or extraction on the outer continental shelves. Offshore accidents that occur on the OGS, whether in an oil spill or oil rig explosions, can result in serious injuries. The Act is a complex piece of legislation as certain criteria must be met for injured employees to receive compensation under its jurisdiction. While a Houston maritime injury lawyer can explain the complete criteria, the following must generally be true for a claim to be filed under the Outer Continental Shelf Length Act. The accident must have happened on a structure erected either permanently or temporarily on the subsoil or seabeds of the OCS. The accident must not have taken place on a ship or craft. An employee must have been developing, exploring, or extracting natural resources when the accident occurred. If these conditions are met, it must then be determined whether federal or state maritime law will dictate the next steps. State law is commonly used in lieu of federal claims, but three criteria must be met for the state of Texas to govern. The accident or injury must have taken place on a structure covered under the outer continental shelf lands. Federal maritime law must not apply. State law must be consistent with federal law. Next, maritime workers' right under the outer continental shelf lands is. The outer continental shelf lands generally makes it easier for injured employees to receive fair and adequate compensation under the Longshore and Harbor Workers' Compensation Act, which itself may enable compensation for injured maritime workers who do not qualify under the Jones Act or under Texas worker compensation laws. The Act makes compensation available for medical costs, physical limitations, and more. It also enables families of offshore workers involved in fatal accidents to pursue compensation for the wrongful deeds on their loved ones. Next, about how our husband attorneys can give you the support you need. Our husband Jonas ex-lawyer understands the complexities of the outer continental shelf lands as well as its relationship to the Jones Act and Longshore and Harbor Workers' Compensation Act. These truths knowledge give us the understandings, experience, and resources to win multi-million-dollar maritime accident case. Our husband personal injury lawyers are known throughout Texas for our impressive work on offshore injury cases and our track record of successfully representing people injured in offshore accidents. If you or your loved one is the victim of a maritime accident, it is important to work with lawyers who have a significant track record of success. Contact our husband personal injury lawyers together. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget give, like, comment, and subscribe.